for any student to apply for a scholarship to go to study at Oxford, full scholarship. And we went to talk to all the professors who have been abroad. Zero.
Nobody.
Recommend.
Right.
Or even give me any hint that I should apply.
Because they think it's
it's
too
just
difficult?
far-fetched.
Right.
It's far-fetched. We didn't have the O-levels, A-level system like in the British system. I didn't have anything to lose.
So you tried.
I just did.
Yeah.
And then, okay.
Hey, this is Pa from Talk Care Podcast. Today's story is especially interesting. How could a young boy from Isan, who have 9 siblings, start with not able to afford the school trip from his home school in the suburb of Ubon Ratchathani to the city of Ubon Ratchathani, not able to afford that, goes to be able to get a full scholarship for his bachelor degree at Oxford University. He also got another full scholarship for his MBA at Asian Institute of Management. He worked as an investment specialist at ADB Bank based in the Philippines for more than 10 years. Then he also served as a CFO at EGAT, or EGAT short for Electricity Generating Authority of Thailand. He has 3 wonderful kids and of course, 1 wife. Now he is retired but still full of energy and passion. Honestly, I love to be like him when I am his age. Let's find out who is this man and how could he get all of this success, what kind of book that he read, and what he has to say.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Chawan, and Pa has been very kind to invite me to participate in her willingness to share the stories of the people that she has come across, and I happen to be one of that person that she picked at the beginning. And I have been an active member of Toastmasters for almost 30 years. And my story may be of interest to some people who still want to achieve something in life. Not that I'm more successful than many others, but I think I have a fair amount of success, and the lessons that I apply to my life might be applicable to someone who are searching for something to inspire them to achieve whatever they want to achieve in life. At the moment, they might feel that they are stuck, or you are stuck. You don't have the right connection, you don't have the right education. All the usual story that most people, myself included, at times, to tell ourselves why we are not achieving the thing that we want to achieve. So here we are. I would be very happy to share what I've learned and apply.
Right. So let's start from the beginning. As you mentioned, we are Toastmasters, and I know you at Toastmaster, and I happened to hear your story, and you repeated this story so many times, and every time I got goosebumps, every time I feel inspired by your story. I feel like our background is quite similar because I am also from Isan, and then happen to love to speak English and want to be successful in life and create the life of my own that I love. And your story is so inspiring. You are from Ubon Ratchathani, and eventually you get the scholarship to Oxford University. I would like you to tell that story again to my audience. I love it. I love hearing it every time.
Okay. As Pa mentioned, I'm also from Ubon Ratchathani when I started studying secondary school. The story started when I went from a very small village to stay with my elder sister. When I was there with my elder sister, she helped me with the financing of the education. She was such a lovely sister. She is someone who is very, what you call that, want to help the family, wanted to help the
All
brothers and
family
sisters,
members.
all family members. She was a school teacher. In our family, there are nine children altogether, and our parents are school teachers.
Your parents must be very busy.
And very busy looking
Nine
after
children,
nine
wow.
children. I'm the youngest among the boys.
Okay.
So the understanding is that when someone graduated, you help your younger brothers or sister to also get education. That's what the value that my parents instilled in us.
Right.
And the other thing that my parents always instilled in us is that hard work doesn't kill you.
Mm-hmm.
And if there was a joke that said, if you die because of hard work, they will be very proud.
Right.
And that is within our family,
Okay.
Myself also included. Not that I'm extremely hard worker, but I have that philosophy in me. One thing that really triggered my, what you call the determination to achieve something of significance was the incidents that I had while I was young. The school, I still remember until today that the school want to have an excursion to Ubon Ratchathani, to the province, to the city itself.
Right.
And I'm from the district, small district.
Okay.
Only one main road, narrow main street, past our district.
How long ago was that?
Oh, that must be 40 years ago.
Right. Okay.
And I was so excited that now I will have a chance to visit the big city where there will be plenty of cars, there are buses. That's all I was interested in.
Yeah.
Because at the district, I probably see maybe 2 or 3 cars each day. And that would be my excitement date that I want to go. I went to talk to my sister and said, sister, I would like to join the excursion to city of Ubon. The thing was, my sister didn't have that much money because she helped paying back the loan
Right.
that the parents incur as a result of the flooding of the agricultural products that they were trying to help support the big family. So they borrow money, they grow a lot of kinaf at that time. Kinaf is some kind of...
What is in Thai?
The kinaf is paw.
Right. I
The-
used to grow when I was young.
The kinaf, and on that year there was a big flooding in the district, and the whole thing was destroyed.
Wow.
So the parents owe a lot of money from the people that they
So
borrow.
your sister supported.
My sister helped to try and repay that. But me being a boy, I understand her that she has that obligation, but at the same time I wanted to go. So I begged her, I repeated, persisted that please let me go, because that will be the first time I actually see the big city. Cut the long story short, she said I didn't have enough money, maybe next time. Until the morning of the actual excursion that it happened. It so happened that at that family there was also someone that a younger brother of my is younger brother of my brother-in-law,
Okay.
the husband of my sister. He's also in the same class, in the same class. He already went that morning. I still got myself ready and so try and ask my sister one more time, please let me go, and I hope that she would yield to my request. Finally, she did. She put, I can't remember how much she put in my pocket, maybe 20 baht at that time, to pay for the fee of the excursion,
Which is a lot.
which
back
is a
then.
lot 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And so I ran to the school. To my big surprise, the school bus already left.
That must be very
And
sad.
that that really hurted me a lot. That's still with me in the sense that I made a pledge to myself that I don't know how, but one day I will earn enough money so that I can pay my own travel. Don't have the idea how I will do that, but it's just simply something that came up that I would like to have that chance.
Yeah.
And that has stuck with me for a long time. During that, after that incident, which really, what you call that, had a serious imprint in my mind, that one day I will earn my own money so that I can travel
freely. Wow.
That was all my dream. And also the other thing was my brother-in-law, his parent was the one that helped with lending the money to my parents. And I had the feeling that he didn't give enough allowance to my sister, and I had, rightly or wrongly, I had that anger within me that one of these days I'll be better than wealth-wise or whatever than he was. It was just a boy, the impression at that time. Maybe he is the what you call that, the good person in his own situation.
Right.
He was very frugal, very what you call that, very careful with money. That's how he became rich.
Yeah.
He got, let's say his salary is 100, he probably spent, I don't know, maybe 10 or whatever, the rest 80 or 90 for saving. I didn't understand that. My understanding was that he didn't give my sister
enough
money so that I can
right.
go to the excursion.
Okay, so after
And
that
so I
day,
used those,
yeah,
so I used those as the energy.
right.
And I read, I can't remember when I think I read the book. The first book that really came to mind was the book by Dale Carnegie, 2 books that my brother, my eldest brother, bought for my dad, who has some kind of heart problem. So the book was How to Stop Worrying and Start Living
Okay.
by Dale Carnegie. And the other book by Dale Carnegie, also a classic, is How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 books that on the shelf, I mean the shelf of my dad, and I pick it up and I love that book. There were stories after stories of people got through hardship. They made name for themselves, especially one chapter I remember until today. It's the chapter that how to change lemon to lemonade. Life might be giving you lemon, very sour, but someone who is special can change that to something not sour and then to something sweet. So for someone who changed from lemon, which life is giving to you, something not good, not nice, difficult,
something you don't like,
and you change that to something really, really good, like lemonade. That book said that that's really more, that person who can do that is more successful than someone who has been given something that is not sour, just neutral, and make it sweet. But when you are given something sour, so you have to, from sour,
go through
then
the
neutral and then positive.
Right. Okay.
So that stuck with me, and I use that as something that And the other thing that I really got imprinted in me is the story of Lincoln. Dale Carnegie is President Lincoln, the 16th president of the U.S. His life story stuck with me a lot. He has been through a lot more hardship than I think I was subjected to. Compared to him, I was still better.
Oh, really?
Because I still remember the story either from the Dale Carnegie book or some other books that I read afterward about Lincoln was that during his education, he has to collect all the what do you call that, the logs for firewood, bundle them up. So he carried that for 10-15 miles into the city so that he could exchange for the book to borrow.
Really? Wow.
Borrow the book in exchange for those bundle of firewood in return. So he brought them back, walk another 10-15 miles back to his cabin, log cabin. And many times he used either moonlight or whatever that he can make for his reading light.
Right.
After he finished it, maybe 2 weeks later, he collected again a bundle of firewood and
And
borrow
go
another
again.
book,
Wow.
walk another 10-15 miles. And that stuck with me. I said, I have library. I didn't have to collect all those bundles compared to Lincoln. And Lincoln has been a failure when he applied to become a senator. He failed when he applied to about 3-4 times before he actually became the senator. President ran for president also. I can't remember how many times did he fail. That stuck with me, and I used that as my motivation, that people can achieve great things if you don't give up.
Right.
Now, this is a cliche, people know that, but why aren't many people doing it? I think what I realize is that another book that I really use a lot is by Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. Those 3 books are the foundation of what I use in my life a lot.
So there are 3 books
Yeah, right.
that
Really, what you call that, influence the way I approach things, the way I go after my dream, my goals. And that the 3rd book is Think and Grow Rich. That book, to me, is the best for someone who wants to achieve success. Very brief story of that book is that Napoleon Hill has to study something like, 500 successful people and instill their principle of success. How did they become successful, including Henry Ford, including the president, including Andrew Carnegie,
right.
who was very successful multi-millionaire 100 years ago, and that's really the richest. So the principle of the book that I use to achieve my goal is simply there are a few steps that I follow. The first one, all the successful people have to have is the clarity of what you want. And people know that, many people know that. What is the level of clarity? The level of clarity to make sure that you actually write it out. The mere fact that you write it out, your goals or your dream, that is one level of clarity. That's what I did. My goal at that time, I went to university at Konkan University after my high school, and then I went to Konkan University. My dream is still there, that I want to be able to travel on my own. The only way I could think of at that time was that I must have a scholarship to go and study overseas. There were many teachers and many professors who came back from having scholarship to go to Canada at that time. Right. So that was my dream.
Okay. So it's clear.
It's clear. I want to get scholarship to go and study abroad.
Right.
At that time, it was Canada. And in the book, one of the things that they suggested was that for whatever the goals that you are having in mind, once you write it down, you wrote it down, and then imagine yourself already achieve them. What life will be like once I achieve my scholarship. And I imagine, I closed my eyes and imagine I got back from getting the scholarship, I now become a professor at the department at, let's say at that time was Konkan University. That would be my achievement already.
Right. So you write it down, you
I
imagine.
wrote it down, yes.
And then it happened, right?
I wrote it down, but then there are a couple of more steps that you need to do.
Right.
Many people can write the goals down.
Okay. Clarity, write it down. Number 2.
Write it down is part of the clarity.
Right.
So that, and then you must be able to visualize the outcome.
Okay. This
So
is also part of the clarity.
No, this is really try to instill that dream, that goal into your subconscious mind. The clarity is the mere fact of writing it down.
Okay.
But to actually imprint on your subconscious mind, which is a more powerful mind,
Right.
you have to repeat it, you have to visualize it. That's why the book asks you to read, in fact, before you reading that, you write it down what you want, and then make it some kind of affirmation statement that you can read it out loud, first thing in the morning, and just before going to bed. So it could go something like, my dream is to get a scholarship to study master degree abroad. The more clear you are, the better it is. And now the second thing that is a missing link is, what are you willing to do to get that goal? I'm willing to study hard. Hard, what do you mean by hard? Okay, I'm willing to study, let's say every day, reading 2 hours a day or whatever it is. That's what I am willing to
sacrifice or to do.
Yeah. So you have to, or what I did not have, you have to, but basically what I did is that, what am I willing to do in order to get that goal, in exchange for that goal? Many people are not doing that.
Okay.
That's why they don't have it.
Right.
They have a clear conviction, all right, clear goal, but they don't go to one more step, which is, what are you willing to do
in order to earn that?
To earn that.
Okay.
And the other thing that I also realized that, how am I going to really feel or have the feeling that I believe that is already doable, already did done. You have to be able to really pretend that I'm already working Canada in cold climate at university of my choice. At that time it was Manitoba Manitoba University, where a lot of professors got the scholarship.
Right.
So that's what I did. So the step I was mentioning is, what was I willing to give in exchange to get the goal? And that is to study very hard, 2 hours a day. And then they asked in the book, they asked to read the statement
Out loud.
twice out loud.
Okay.
Twice, once in the morning, many times in the morning, many times before you go to bed. That's number 3. Number 4 also.
I thought there are 3. You said 3 things, 3 or 4. Number 1 is
clarity.
You have to have clarity. Number
Yes.
2 is, what do you willing to do or to sacrifice in order to get that goal? Now what is number 3?
Number 3 is to imprint that into your subconscious mind, because subconscious mind is so powerful. Yes. Subconscious mind is so powerful, and that's where the powerhouse is. So without that imprint, you might not have the energy to do the things that is needed. To have just the desire is not enough. So that clarity, when I say clarity, I meant really a burning desire. That's the word that people use. Burning desire, I must have it, dead or alive. I will have it. Okay, so that's number 3. Repeat it so that your subconscious mind is accepting that to be reality.
Yeah.
That's number 3.
Yeah.
Number 4 part of that subconscious mind realizing is that visualize you already have your dream in place, already done.
Okay.
It's not a wishing, it's already done. You already got back and you are already teaching as a professor. In fact, I visualize in such a way that it was mentioned, if you want a lifestyle, have an example, have someone that you want to follow. Mm-hmm. At that time, I have the lifestyle of my dean of the Faculty of Agriculture, Dr. Kavi, Konkan University.
Right. So you
Dr.
imagine...
Kavi, I imagine I was Dr. Kavi sitting behind his desk as a dean of Konkan University.
Okay.
He has a lovely wife, Dr. Saisuri of the education department. So I imagine myself sitting in the place of Dr. Kavi. What would it be like to be a dean of faculty of? That was my big dream. From where I was, that was very big.
Yeah. And now you achieve all of those things. You have lovely wife, you have good kids.
Right. So the thing that really turned out is that when it comes, it really much bigger than what I imagined. As you mentioned, when the situation came, there was an advertisement for me any student to apply for a scholarship to go to study at Oxford, full scholarship. And we went to talk to all the professors who have been abroad. Zero.
Nobody
recommend,
right,
or even give me any hint that I should apply.
Because they think
it's just far-fetched. Right. It's far-fetched. We didn't have the O-levels, A-level system like in the British system. I didn't have anything to lose.
So you tried.
I just did. Yeah. And then, in order to apply, I had to talk to the volunteer teachers from New Zealand to help me. I drafted the letter, my story. She helped me in cleaning up. And I applied. And lo and behold, and at the same time, each day I visualized being on the airplane, taking off from Konkan University Airport, and the vibration of the plane each morning. At 3-4 o'clock in the morning, where it is very quiet, I close my eyes and visualize the plane took off and the vibration of the airplane. That's all I can imagine.
Wow.
Each morning. And that gave me
the energy. Never fail. Every morning.
Yes.
Never fail. Wow.
And that gave me the energy to read a lot. And people thought I was going crazy. I was going to be put in the institution. Yeah. But I had something inside that they didn't know.
Yeah, that's great. So you must feel so, I don't know, can you explain the feeling when you get the letter from Oxford University to say that you actually received the full 4-year scholarship?
Yes. I still remember when I got the letter. At that time, the letter was put in a pigeonhole of each room. And when they opened it, it was an airmail letter. I had this feeling, imagination. They said, you imagine you're already there. So I imagined, once I apply, I read whatever I can read about Oxford. They said, there are narrow streets and cobblestones. I imagine I'm already walking in those streets. Secretly, I already felt that I would be in there. When I received that letter at the cafeteria and I read it, it's only something like 6-7 sentences. Dear Chawan, it is my great pleasure to inform you, you have won the scholarship to come and read for your bachelor degree at Oxford University. I read that letter maybe 10-15 times to make sure that I didn't misread it.
Okay.
Signed by the president of the what they call it, the president of Junior Common Room.
Okay.
Which is someone who provided scholarship. That feeling, every time when I read it, I have the goosebump.
Right.
That was in 1972.
Mm-hmm. So after all of these happened to you and you've graduated from Oxford, you come back, Are you becoming a professor?
No.
What did you do afterward?
When I came back, I didn't become the professor. I work in a company, and using my agricultural skills a little bit for about 4 years. Then there was a opportunity to study master degree in business management. I also went around to look for scholarship, and I did. I got scholarship from SGB Natalang at that time, the auditing or the large audit firm. They gave half of the scholarship, and I got the other half from Asian AM scholarship to make it 100%.
Oh wow.
So I studied 2 years at the Asian Institute of Management to get my MBA. Once I got my MBA, basically I changed my field from agricultural to actually finance.
Oh, okay.
That's how I've been working in the finance field.
From
I
that
started with management consultancy and then the finance, and end up being investment specialist at the Asian Institute of, no, not Asian Institute, Asian Development Bank.
ADB.
Yes, ADB. So I worked there for 10 years. So
Where is the office?
in Philippines, in Manila. So
Right. So you were in Philippines for 10
for 10
years.
years, yes.
Is your wife Thai or
Yes,
Filipino?
my wife is Thai before we went. And I was very fortunate with all this happening, that the ADB really helped with the children education. I have 3 kids. They all got international school education because ADB helped supported it.
Right.
And until they get their master degree from kindergarten to master degree, ADB helped 75%. So in some way, I am very fortunate to have the life that I've been through. And I just want to pass on this story, not to boast what I have achieved, but to actually encourage people that might go through hard time at the moment and feel lost. I hope to the main part of the story is that you have what it takes to achieve things more than you can imagine.
Right.
Look at Oprah.
Yeah.
She's black. She's, let's say, she has been raped while she was young, and she's now the 50th most powerful lady in the world.
Yeah.
So my story, I hope to give you the spark to pursue whatever you have your goal for your life.
For sure it will.
And that's our hope for Pa and me to share this story.
Right.
And nowadays a lot more materials are available on YouTube online.
And it's free, right?
And it's free. Now, the thing that will separate between someone who will be successful or someone who's not successful is that, are you willing to take action?
Right, like number 2 that you mentioned,
Yes.
right? You sacrifice. What
Yeah.
are you willing to do in order
That's
to
right.
get that
That's
goal?
very important. A lot of people get excited about setting goals. I have burning desire, but they said,
After
okay,
that,
and then I have the goals
Right.
with me
Okay.
without taking the step.
Great
So-
learning today. Can I say something? I feel like when we start the conversation and you said you just want to, be rich and, just have that desired because there's many things imprinted. It must be very emotional and it's just deep down inside you. But right now, all of what you have achieved seems even bigger than what you imagined back then, right?
Much bigger.
Yeah.
Much bigger.
So this is great story, and this is so inspiring and inspired me a lot. And now you're not with ADB anymore.
No, I retired from ADB.
Yeah.
I retired from ADB, early retirement in about 10, 12 years ago, because EGAT, the Electricity Generating Authority, they were planning to list on the stock market.
All right.
And they were looking
need-
for the chief financial officer.
Okay.
And I applied.
Right.
And I
you
got
get
it.
Oh. Seems
And then-
everything fall into your lap, right?
it felt like
When you
fall
work
into
hard
my
enough.
lap, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
Even for the EGAT application, I was on holidays with my family on the way back. I opened the newspaper, I think it was The Nation, and they said they are looking for someone to become a CFO of EGAT.
Right.
So I read it. I was not ready to be actually apply for that. But I didn't let that stop me. I went to look at the book also, Think and Grow Rich, because there was one story.
Okay.
Who came to Thomas Edison at that time. He was just a tramp, but he set his intention to be in partnership with Edison. He didn't get it the first time, but he just said, I want to work near you. The same thing. I said, okay, what do I need to do to get closer to be sort of qualified candidate?
Right.
I read all the annual reports of EGAT, whatever I feel that I should know.
Right. Get yourself ready.
And the same concept, I imagine myself being a CFO representing EGAT at the financial center in New York, Switzerland, answering investor questions about EGAT.
Wow.
The same thing, the same approach.
That's
So I
ridiculous.
just use it again.
Okay. And then it just happened.
It's not just happened. Maybe
Eventually it happened.
Yes.
That's
right.
That's
So-
the point.
so-
And then now you're not with EGAT as well.
No, I'm now.
What-
I retire.
Yeah.
Now
What is project that you're doing right now?
My project is now that I'm two things. I am intending to become inspirational speaker,
Okay.
inspirational/motivational speaker, because I feel that based on my interest, based on what I read, based on my life story, I totally convinced that human can achieve a lot more than
And you-
what they believe they limit themselves to be.
And
That's
you are
number one.
qualified to do
And
that.
I hope I am qualified to do that. That's
Number
number
two.
one. Number two is I'm also related to that being inspirational speaker. I'm now a health coach. Why?
Health?
Because I intend to actually bring people who want to own their own company, own business, without committing too much money. In a sense, just like a franchise. To me, just like a franchise. I study a lot. People call it, the name is network marketing, but it has such a bad name. But to me, based on my study, if you select the right product, the right company, it's the best business system there is, because it's a leverage effect, rather than I set up a drugstore to sell my nutrition products. I have to be at that place. I may be very successful, but I have only one store. Maybe if I open 10, I will have to be involved in 10 stores. But this new concept, I said that I changed myself by using the products, and I'm really convinced the product is good. Everyone in the family use it. So I feel that, okay, the product's good, the system good. What I need is to be a marketer.
Right.
How will I use that as part of my inspiration? I want to inspire people to be their owner of their business using this leverage. And if they have the success story, the means for them to achieve their own success without committing too much money to build a store or something, the system already ready. Then they have some kind of process for them to achieve. After I mentioned, okay, you inspire me. Now what I do, I don't have the money. Well,
I see. Okay.
There are many people that don't have the money,
And they can
but they
start
just do the
something.
marketing.
Right. Okay.
Some people who just find some people who want to own their own business without committing. That's what I am doing at the moment.
Okay.
So it's really the two are related.
I am looking forward to hear the next chapter of your life story about successful of this two new project. And well, is there? I think we're gonna close
Right.
the program soon. I want you to leave something that you think will be worth
Okay.
for the audience.
Okay. The thing that I like to leave with all of you is that I'm sure you have heard this before, but you don't believe them. I like you to believe one more time of my story is that you are capable of a lot more, much more than what you let yourself to believe.
Okay.
And by following this principle that I just mentioned, the principle I mentioned, the story that I mentioned, not to show off what I have done, but to show you the process, what I did in order to achieve what I did. And my belief is that you can achieve whatever you set yourself as to be your goal. That's the thing that I like to leave it with you. The missing link, you remember, is the action that you are going to give in return for that goal.
Right.
The bigger the goal, the action you need to take is
Has to be
bigger.
bigger.
So
So,
that's the key things.
Okay. What are you willing to sacrifice in order to get
Sacrifice
to that
maybe
goal?
is a negative
much?
word.
Okay.
Sacrifice.
What are you willing
what
to
are you
do?
willing to do?
Okay.
What are you willing to do to believe in order to achieve
order to
that?
achieve that.
First is like what are you willing to believe,
Okay.
and then learn and then do.
Okay.
And those would be the one I like to live with you, and you achieve much more than what you thought possible.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for sharing an inspiring story. Every time I hear it, I feel inspired and goosebump. And so grateful that I catch your time to interview you tonight. And thank you so much.
I like also to thank Pa for taking the initiative to have this program started, and you should be sort of congratulated also for initiating this.
Thank
you,
you.
Pa. Okay.
Okay. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.